I agree with my noble friend Baroness Kidron and the Right Reverend Prelate. We have a choice to make today, and I hope we're going to make the right choice. My Lords, I rise to support Baroness Penn's amendment, which is a really important amendment. Early years matters. It matters so much that we must do everything we can to protect those early years. But my Lords, I rise also to support the amendments in the name of the noble Lord, Lord Nash, which I have put my name to. And I wish to speak on Amendment 94A in support of this really important amendment, as I strongly believe children under the age of 16 should not be able to access social media and have social media accounts. My Lords, I feel this is a necessary measure until the online platforms accept their responsibility and implement stringent safety controls and perform their duties to our children. We have given them the opportunities to do so. Now is the time for us to act decisively, because each minute we wait, more damage is done to our children's well-being. My Lords, it's great that the government has moved on this issue, but I believe in the wrong direction. There is no need for a consultation, which causes even further delay. We have all the evidence we need. We have to stop this catastrophe now, because the world is watching us. And I believe many countries will follow suit, because this is a global crisis. My Lords, there are those who believe this amendment is a blunt instrument and will prevent children accessing the outside world. I don't agree. Consider the options. What would you rather have? A choice between children becoming addicted, showing signs of anxiety, even taking their own lives, and being exposed to the terrible age-inappropriate dangers allowed by social media providers who don't have our children's interests at heart, or protecting them until those social media providers get their acts together. I know which one I would choose. My Lords, this amendment sends a clear message to those who want to harm our children and fail to protect them. They have failed their duty to do so. Now is the time for us to act, as I've said. My Lords, it's important to make it clear that children don't need a social media account to access the internet. And I'm not proposing to ban children from the internet, which is a great source of information for their educational studies on platforms like Wikipedia or BBC Bitesize. This amendment is a preventative one. It'll prevent them from having social media accounts where they can be contacted, reveal personal and private details which expose them to potential abuse, harm, or cohesive behaviour. My Lords, the word banned is an emotive word. This amendment is a preventative measure in the same way children cannot buy alcohol or buy a lottery ticket. You won't allow your children to freely play on the motorway, so why do we allow them to easily open social media accounts which can cause harm, trauma, and in some cases, endanger their lives? My Lords, for the last 20 years or more, I have been speaking out and begging children to resist temptation and to be aware of what the online world was seducing them into. I have begged them to switch off and say no to these temptations, which are leading them down to a path of potential harm. Unfortunately, my message and warnings didn't spread far enough, and we're now facing a crisis, an epidemic of children suffering from mental health issues, depression, isolation, bullying, blackmail, and intimidation. My Lords, the frightening list goes on and on and on because of their exposure to the dark side of social media. My Lords, what have we done to our children? Many of them have had their innocent childhoods snatched away from them, sliding down into a cesspit of uncontrolled harm, danger, and disturbing behaviour. My lords, the scary reality of the depression and mental health issues children are experiencing is frightening. In 2024, according to the Office of Health Improvement Disparities, there has been a 22.7% increase in suicide rates of ages between 10 and 24, between 2012 and 2022. It's been well documented that adolescents are showing rising addiction to social media and face a doubled risk of suicidal behaviour. My lords, there's been a 5-fold increase amongst 11 to 16-year-olds of eating disorder, according to the NHS Digital Mental Health of Children and Young People in England. The Nuffield Foundation predicts GCSE's results will worsen steadily over the years to come, when fewer than 40% of pupils will achieve good grades in maths and English. My lords, the decline of children being exposed to books and reading skills are now becoming evident, and many organisations, such as the Book Trust, are striving to encourage reading and to persuade children to pick up books and become lovers of the written word. My lords, another worrying concern for us all, as highlighted last year by the Children's Commissioner, is that 59% of children first saw pornography by accident, and 27% has seen pornography by the age of 11. One mother told me her 4-year-old was abused by a 10-year-old who said to her, "I'm going to rape you and you're going to like it." Where did he get that kind of language from? My lords, in one Demos focus group, every single girl had received unsolicited sexual images. There's also evidence children are now using mainstream social media to host live sexual content for payment. My lords, how did we get to this? Why have we allowed this to happen? My lords, the proportion of children reported as perpetrators of sexual offences is rising, driven significantly by early exposure to pornography. This is something I have long lobbied to prevent. And thank goodness we now have Ofcom implementing protection due to the Online Safety Act. My lords, social media can be addictive and consume time and energy in a negative way, especially for young people. Research from the World Health Organization has found that 11% of adolescents globally show signs of problematic social media use, addiction-like symptoms, including inability to control usage, withdrawal symptoms when offline, neglect of other activities, and showing signs of anxiety. My lords, in England, 20% of 11-year-old girls and 23% of 13-year-old girls have problematic usage. This is 3 to 5 times higher than adult alcohol dependency and 3.5 times higher than adult drug dependency. My lords, let us release our children from this dependency and anxiety. Let us set them free from all of this. We must do this. My lords, children need a world of positive role models, giving them a holistic understanding of the world around them, presented in a verified way, not an online environment that distorts their thinking, behaviour and perception of the world, with misinformation, conspiracy theories and fake news, a world filled with influencers, a world making them feel inadequate. My daughter is a teacher and is having to deal with the outcome of all of this on a daily basis, like so many other teachers across the country. My lords, what is social media doing to our children today and exposing them to? What type of future is ahead of them? If we do nothing now to protect our children and grandchildren, we should be ashamed of ourselves, as the damage to young minds and heartaches of families will only increase. There is an argument for more parental control, but parents can only look over their shoulder. They can't look over their shoulder 24/7. They need our help. So I urge the government to back this amendment, help protect our children, because there's a strong case from teachers, health practitioners, parents and law enforcement that children under the age of 16 should not be able to access social media accounts. We have a huge responsibility to safeguard our precious children and their well-being. This amendment is vital. It sends a clear message to those who would harm our children and allow them to be scarred for life. Because as I always say, and I'll say it again, childhood lasts a lifetime. That's why I wholeheartedly support Amendment 94A, and I urge other members to do the same.
My lords, my lords, my lords, my lords, my lords.